Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it is where you are. I'm teaching again, and of course, that starts to inspire me in different ways than my typical sadhana, typical studies do. And I used to teach all year long, so I kind of had this train of thought all year long as far as retreats, how to do these yatras, different things to do where we can practice ashtanga at the same time. Now, basically, I'm teaching once a year as I go back and forth between living with Guruji and then teaching. I teach a little bit when I'm there, but teaching full time. Like right now, I'm teaching daily. So I have talked with a friend about who is beginning to lead yatras in India. Yatra is a pilgrimage. So you pick a place that many people want to go to for a reason. Say, if you like Krishna, you're going to go to Vrindavan and you'll take different uh, groups of people to that place who are interested in Krishna and who want to learn about the history and see the place that he was born, that kind of thing. If you're interested in Shiva, you take those people to Kedarnath up in the Himalayas. There are different places you can go up in the Himalayas, but you also can take them to Kashi, Varanasi. Kashi is what I call it. Kashi is the old name, the city of light, because that is where he lived on this earth besides Mount Kailash. If you're a Devi worshiper, there are several places in Calcutta you can go. In Assam, where I go to Kamakya Temple. So I'm contemplating working on retreats with her as she's starting to do those for herself and she figures out the logistics and all that. I also need to think about the logistics of all that, and after her first one is finished, then I can talk to her about doing it with her and see if it makes sense, because some of the things I don't mind doing, but some of the things I don't have any interest in doing, as far as getting organizing a place and all that stuff. I'm not terribly skilled at all that stuff, but I do want to have control over where the place is, because then we can do maybe have a room to do yoga and maybe have a meal schedule where we eat together. We have, that kind of thing. So it does need to be something I'm involved in, but I guess I will let you know in the future once I discover about that. Big thing for me is I'm really wanting to do, and I discussed this last year with my friend when I was living in Dehradun again. He was one of my students, and you're being in that area, you're close to Rishikesh, where there are just tons of teacher training programs all the time. And the thing is, for me, I don't want to lead a teacher training program as far as getting people their 200-hour level. I don't care if it does do that, that's fine. What I want to do is integrate or teach people how to integrate the teachings that come up, the teachings that come from yoga, but also the things that come out of you that come up and you have to deal with, how to integrate those things and live a more yogic lifestyle, maybe the wrong word, but I guess that's the best phrase I got, yogic lifestyle. I also want to include the teachings of Tantra, which Hatha Yoga is a tantric practice, so that can be a discussion that we have. That can be even a whole module if you want it to be that. And I also want to take people to Mysore. So, with Sharat's death, and his mother's still alive and teaching, and a lot of students have started going to her again, that's fine. But what I want to do is take small groups, up to maybe 10 people, to the place where Ashtanga Yoga started. And that means those people would have to be practicing Ashtanga Yoga and interested in coming to Mysore, because there's a lot of Ashtangis who are not interested in going to India. A lot of people that I teach here, a lot of people that I teach in other places are just not interested, or they are interested and they can't figure out how to make it work in their life. That's another discussion. I really love the idea of getting a place together, having rooms. You can choose, to share a room or to have your own separate room. Maybe not in the same building, because in Gokulam that's something that's not terribly accessible. Teaching those people every morning not terribly early because I don't like teaching so early in the morning anymore. Um, Going to breakfast and then going around Mysore, seeing the places that are interesting and important, like Patabi's old house in Lakshmipuram where he started teaching. Maybe we could work with Saraswati to see her shala. Um, Different things like that. I've been in Mysore for the greater part of each year for the past 11 years. So I have a lot of little corners of Mysore that I love. Also, my guru lives there, so I live there much of the time. So I have a personal interest in not staying there because I don't mind traveling. I love to take people to the Himalayas, to a friend of mine's retreat center up there also. That's a different thing. But having a yatra to the birthplace of Ashtanga yoga is also something that's interesting to me. So these things are all in my mind right now, and I am wondering if people have an interest in experiencing any of them, and I would like some input. I'm not going to base my decisions on, say, the majority of what you guys say. And I'm not saying that to be an ass. I'm just saying I kind of am going to do what I'm going to do, but it's interesting to have some input from the outside. So if you see this, if you listen to this, and you have an opinion, please feel free to send me a private message, either on, I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel. You can comment there. I'm going to post this on, I'll post my YouTube video on Facebook. You can comment there or send me a message via Messenger. That would be even better so we can have a private discussion about it. I'm going to post some link to it on Instagram also, so you can message me there. You can also, if you're interested in have something that's worthy of a deeper discussion, you can get my WhatsApp and we can have a video chat or a text conversation there if you want to. So what do you think? Let me know. Let's hear what your interest is. A big part of what I want to do if I end up doing these trainings is I want to not exclude the Hinduism from yoga anymore. There has been a big movement in the West. I don't know that it's been an actively uh, pursued type of thing, but it is common for you to hear from people in the West in their trainings, and I used to be part of quite a few of them when I lived in St. Louis, that yoga is not a religion and is very separate from the religion and can be its own thing. And that is not untrue, but the roots of yoga as we know it, including Hatha Yoga, come from the people who we call Hindus. The traditional name is Sanatana Dharma. Hinduism is a thing that came from the Silk Road travelers because the Indus River was there, and when you were trading along the Silk Road and you came across the Indus River, the people there were Persian and Arabic and couldn't say the Indus without a he, so they said Hindu. So anyone living on the other side of that river was a Hindu. And this is also a base of the rule when there's an area of India or Nepal. Nepal also is very big on it. When you're not a Hindu, you're not allowed in temples. And that in that case, especially being a Hindu means you were born on that side of the Indus River, which means you were born in that land. So if you're a foreigner and they can tell you're a foreigner, you are not allowed into some of the temples in some of the states. Kerala has that, Tamil Nadu has it, Nepal has it in every Hindu temple. Karnataka is pretty open except for one or two temples here and there. The north, they're very detached from their Hinduism because of the long history of having the things destroyed and all that. So they don't really have those rules anymore. But in the South, it's still a very common practice. So that came from this rule, if you're on that side. And that also helped stop the temples from being destroyed because people would enter the temples and blow them up. And then they were burned down after that and flattened out, gotten rid of. They were trying to erase the history of these people. That's a whole nother story for another sort of a discussion that I'm not going to do right here. But what I am interested in is hearing what you think about any of these options or all of these options and what you would like to see, what you'd like to do. Say I'm having a retreat and we're going to be doing Ashtanga yoga and experiencing the locality of that area. And we're maybe, would you rather do that in Rishikesh, where we're close to the Himalayas and we can go do some of that stuff? Would you rather do that in Varanasi, where you can be close to where Shiva is, and Shiva is the one who gave us the yoga system? And you can be close to the Ganga and you can, get an experience like that. Would you like to do that in Mysore only, because Mysore is the birthplace of Ashtanga? If I'm going to do a training, where would you like that to be? Do you want it to be in Rishikesh so you can have that experience, because there's so many thousands of people going there every year and doing these trainings? Would you like it to be in some other part of India, maybe that I've not even been to, and we can all have a learning experience together? Um, that type of thing. I'm curious what you think. So leave a comment, send me a private message on one of the platforms you can find this on, and let's have a discussion about it. Okay? Thanks. Have a great evening or a day, and ciao.